Remember the investor who turned $8,000 into $5.7 billion by buying Shiba INU?
Yes!
Well, guys, he's back. Arguably one of the greatest investments of all time.
We have the greatest trade in history.
The greatest trade of all time.
Someone bought $8,000 into
Shiba INU.
Shiba INU. Shiba INU.
SHIB. The coin that got you fired from work because you couldn't stop checking your phone every 10 seconds? Which I guess answers the question, what is the best investment of all time? I guess it's SHIB, because apparently someone bought $8,000 worth of SHIB in August of last year, which is now apparently worth
$5.7 billion.
The meme that broke the internet.
This is insane. If you invested in Shiba INU, you're not a smart crypto investor. But you're rich, so who cares?
Now he goes by the name of Shibtoshi. Nobody has ever seen him.
And he wants to remain anonymous for personal reasons.
Now I say he's back only because he's came out with his own crypto coin. Now guys, I've known Shibtoshi for about a year, but I never knew who he was. He was just a guy on my social media who I would talk to, but I never knew who he actually was. Until one day he told me, and it blew my freaking mind. I didn't believe him. And so he sent me screenshots, and he ended up being the Shiba Inu whale.
An emergency just happened for Shiba Inu.
Something big just happened.
Please watch this and please listen.
The mysterious $5 billion Shiba Inu whale moved 40 trillion SHIB to unknown wallets. And as we can see here on its ether scan, he made 4 transactions that moved 14 figures worth of SHIB in every single transaction.
I'll know the story of the guy that turned 8,000 into $5 billion, but the thing is we didn't think, we thought he was dead or he lost his wallet or something like that. Well, we were wrong. Some wallet watchers just realized that the wallet woke up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shibtoshi. Hey, Shib?
Yeah.
All right, what's going on?
What's going on, Anthony?
Yeah, man. First off, I want to say I appreciate you taking the time out. I mean, you have arguably one of the greatest investments of all time. Everybody's heard the stories. We saw everything all over the internet. It broke the internet. Guy makes the craziest investment of all time, turning $8,000 into $5.7 billion. So it's truly an honor, and just kind of want to pick your brain, man.
Okay. Yeah, well, thank you for that. If you would have asked me over 2 years ago when I started, investing in the SHIB, I'd be here today. I would have said you were crazy. Obviously I didn't have any special inside information, on that. I just had some friends that pulled me into it. And, it worked out in the long run. But, yeah, it's kind of crazy, honestly. Some of my closest friends still today are just like, when you told me you bought into that project, I can't believe it ended up doing what it did,
Yeah, man. And just having the foresight and the confidence and pretty much the balls to just jump into something like that was so unpredictable. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, obviously when I first heard of SHIB, it was brought to me as a Dogecoin killer. I didn't invest in the Doge, but, I was a little on the fence, if I'm being honest, especially my buddy that brought it to me. He was a stock investor, and we had a pretty deep conversation about some gains he had in the stock market, a few months before. And I was kind of, laughing at him a little bit. He was bragging about 30% gains in the market, and that's big in stock, but in crypto, that's very small scale.
Right.
And, he took it upon himself to start researching crypto, and him and his friends stumbled across this, and he brought it to me and just pestered me for several hours about it. And after I found out what these seven guys had invested into SHIB, I thought it'd be hilarious to buy more than all of them together. And that's what I did. Now, obviously, I didn't do it all in one shot. I started testing the water and started buying, and eventually got $8,000 into it, and was almost immediately upside down, which is how it generally goes in the crypto space, anyhow. And some of those original 7 friends ended up cutting their losses, which obviously was a very regrettable mistake that they made. But kind of what had me stick it out with SHIB was the community, man. Yeah, I wasn't very active in the community in the early days. That was my buddy that I was getting information from. Eventually, I jumped into it, and it was just the rapid growth of the community, and kind of fast forwarding it, I got a little bit of a scare when their Telegram channel got taken down, because 9 times out of 10 in the crypto space, when your project's channel is deleted or removed, you kind of start thinking all kinds of crazy things.
Right.
And, so, I mean, that was kind of a slight scare for me, but we got reassurance that, it was something other than, a rug, which is what, me and my immediate circle of friends had suspected. But, I mean, I'm just glad I ended up sticking it out.
True.
So,
you held, 400 days or something like that?
Well, 400 days before I was in the billions, yeah. I've held over 700 days now. It's been 2 years. So.
Wow. And you had to go.
Yeah.
You had to pretty much go on a roller coaster. With
dude, I can't. I mean, when it started pumping, man, when it started moving, it was moving fast, and it was in one of the wallets that I'm not really. I don't really keep track of. Often I didn't have it in the time in my wallet consolidator, so my daily portfolio, as I'm checking that throughout the day, it wasn't on there. Eventually, I added it in there, and started closely monitoring it, and it was just, as it was blowing up, it was just getting ridiculous, like a dream, unreal.
Jeez,
so as the chart starts moving, I go to sleep and I'm dreaming about it as well, and then I wake up and I check and I'm like, holy shit, like this is still real. It was just unreal to me.
I can't imagine, like, your whole life, your whole life changed, right?
Well, I already had money before I did the SHIB investment. I've been in crypto space since 2011, and I got into that just kind of by chance. I first heard about Bitcoin in 2010, and it was, at the time, it was strongly associated with the dark net, and I didn't really want much part of it. But the following year, I was really big into the poker scene, and I had some buddies that by chance started talking crypto, and they mentioned Bitcoin, so I started picking their head on that, and they told me that they utilize Bitcoin for private poker rooms, online. That's the currency they transfer in. And I said, yes, but are you actually able to, you're spending real money on that, but can you get that money back out? Or is it stuck in this coin, which was Bitcoin?
Yeah.
And, they kind of explained to me the process of how you go about converting it back. And it was these early days that I found a Bitcoin guy that actually buys Bitcoin from me. He lives relatively close to me, and I'm still in contact with him to this day. He only lives about an hour from me, but that's kind of what set me down the rabbit hole, in the whole crypto space. I started reading up on Reddit, about Bitcoin and the idea and why it came about, and it was really intriguing to me. And what really drew me to it was being anonymous. It was kind of like, not that I'm anti-government in any way, but, I really liked what they were doing. There's a set amount that's only ever going to be in supply. You can't make more, so it's not like the dollar that's just kind of, when you need more money, they just print more and dilute the price. It's just a set number, and that's all there's ever going to be. So it really sent me down that rabbit hole, and as more cryptos came out, I got into a lot of them very early. Ethereum came out, I got into that. Zcash came out, I got into that. Litecoin. I mean, there were so many different, Bitcoin Cash, so many different projects that I jumped into taking chances on. And majority of the ones that I just named, I've done. really well in. You know, it's all about willing to take the chance, you know, and willing to stick it out, because in this game, early investors and long-term holders always make the money.
That's some great advice, man. That's some great advice.
I mean, that's just my personal opinion, you know, so, I mean, that's just personally how I see it.
So now that you've made your billions in SHIB, you told me that you were an early Bitcoin holder and you've done really well. So what now? Like, what are you doing now every day, and what are you doing with your time, your money? I hear you launched a new project, your own coin.
That's correct. So, you know, I'm a pretty charitable person in real life. I won't go into exact details, but not so much nonprofits, but actually linking up with people that, you know, have, you know, diseases that, you know, are a struggle in life, you know, cancer. I'm really big into giving right now for kids with cancer. I give a lot of time and money to those, you know, causes. And that's really big on my radar right now. It's something that, you know, brings me quite a bit of joy doing that. So, you know, I dedicate my time, my cars, my money, you know, to try to give back a little bit. And when you see, you know, a kid that's dealing with that smile and light up in different ways, whether it's like, you know, volunteering a car for his parents to take him for a spin in, or whether you're, you know, taking him for a spin in that car, something that he's always wanted to do. You know, that smile when they light up like that, man, that's something that you can't put a price on, in my personal opinion.
That's insane. But if you don't mind me asking, what kind of cars do you have?
So I have a Ferrari 488 GTB, Lamborghini Huracan, a Lamborghini Urus, and a McLaren 570S Spider.
Jeez.
Yeah. And you know, more recently, I picked up the C8 Vet, but its motor had to be replaced under 3,000 miles, so I wouldn't recommend buying the 2020 model of that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they're having transmission problems and motor problems.
Well, man, I appreciate the info. So I have a couple more questions, Shib. So this coin that you just came out with, what are some of your personal goals with the coin? If you're able to share that. Yeah, I know your coin just launched.
Let me get into my reasons why I launched that coin. So throughout the duration of being in this crypto space, obviously I've been affected by scams. My close friends have been affected by scams. You know, it's becoming an issue. And, you know, a couple of years ago, you know, I kind of got the idea, well, if all these other people can do it, why can't I? So I put myself through some Solidity coding courses. I actually took it twice. Still didn't quite get the hang of it on the whole coding the contract. Yeah. So I reached out to a developer that I found on a well-known coding website and had him code some contracts for me. Obviously, the only contract I've ever put out was squidgrow, but I had him do a variation of different names, all meme tokens, because you know, I just absolutely love memes. You know, I mean, SHIB did amazing things for me. But I kind of put it on the back burner. But in November of 21, you know, obviously the Squid Game Netflix TV series was really big. You know, it was all over the place, all over the internet. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's watching it. And, you know, I decided, well, what do you need with a meme token? You need something that is, you know, memeable, something that people can relate it to, something that people are actually talking about. So also at the same time, as you know, Evergrow was coming out and was doing big things. I mean, their numbers they were putting up was just ridiculous. So I took the best of both worlds, in my personal opinion, and named my project Squidgrow. And while I was trying to figure out on how to deploy the contract and publish the contract code and all that, another project blew up. It's the scam token that everybody knows called Squid Games. And I was late to the races. You know, there was already a project out there. I didn't want to be a copycat, so I shelved it. Against some of my personal friends, suggestions on that, I decided to shelf it and just continue to go about, my daily life of, living in crypto. Crypto is very time consuming, and, but after that, more and more of my personal friends kept getting caught up in scams. One of my good friends finally went down the rabbit hole of crypto. He aped in 50K and got burned. And, he swore off of crypto forever. He was like, it's all a scam. I'm going to stick to the stock market, and, it was kind of an eye-opening moment for me because how many people, jump into crypto for the first time and make a bad investment, or they invest into a solid project, but the dev team just don't have the ability to deliver on anything for the project, or they just have bad intentions and just want to steal people's money. So that kind of sparked a new interest. Yeah, exactly. So that kind of sparked a new interest in me. And talking to one of my very personal friends, the Huntsman, he kind of started poking and prodding me to launch my own project. And it was around this time that I got pulled into a private whale room where I met R-Dub, who's actually my CFO. And, over the course of some time, R-Dub and I got onto a personal level where we actually started talking and, we're docs to each other, so on and so forth. And he eventually found out who I am in the crypto space. And it blew his mind. It's not really weird to me. I mean, this is my daily life, so I don't think of myself as, hey, I'm the SHIB whale, but to other people, it's kind of a big deal, which is kind of crazy to me because I'm just a normal guy, and, but, through this connection I made with R-Dub, we started talking and we decided we were going to launch our own project. So I kind of went through some names of some contracts I already had coded, and we decided we were going to go with Squidgrow. And I was a little hesitant because at the time of launch, there was another Squid token out there. And again, I didn't want to be a copycat, but again, you can't just write off the whole Squid name as a copycat. Our name varies a little different. We're not just Squid Games, we're Squidgrow. So there's a variant there. So after we started putting our pieces together, we decided to do a stealth launch on the project, which is exactly what we did. We did a stealth launch. And if for anybody that's following along with, the project, we launched on June 17th, but there was issues with the contract code that I had coded. So we had to announce it to the community. We had to stop trading, and we did a relaunch within 24 hours. So the contract code that everybody knows today was actually launched June 18th. And we started with 12 BNB liquidity, $25,000 market cap, and, we've grown, at a pretty crazy rate, especially in this market, if you ask me my personal opinions.
Yeah, dude, I've actually bought into the coin because SHIB is actually my friend. I've told you guys earlier. And I didn't get in at launch, but I got in fairly early, and it's just done crazy things, man. It's still super early. Would you say it's still early?
Oh, dude, we've not even got going yet, and the difference between, my project and others, not to take away anything, but majority. So when it comes to meme tokens, what do you need? You need financing, right? How do you really blast a meme token off? You need something that's memeable, something that people can kind of relate to, and you need funding, right? That's how all these big meme tokens blast off. Now, there are exceptions in that. But, coming into this, I have money. So I knew, there'd be no reason why I can't blast this off, if I'm funding it on my own. And the key point of that is, although we've changed the tax, a few times along the way of the project, right now it's 8% buy, 8% sell, and everything's going to liquidity. 100% of marketing and exchange listings and billboards and contracts and utilities, everything's paid for out of my own pocket. I 100% fully back this. It's not dependent on, buy, sells, volume, anything like that. If there was ever a time that we're completely at a standstill on the chart, that doesn't mean the project's at a standstill. I'm still on the back end funding everything with my money, making the moves that I feel need to be made. You know, obviously I have a team of advisors, I have developers, I have my CFO, but you know, it's definitely something that, in my personal opinion, sets us apart.
Yeah, no, I've been it's pretty shocking what the project's done already.
Yeah, currently we're listed on 8 exchanges. Obviously more are coming. 2 of those exchanges came out, Bitmark and BTEX, before we were even listed on CMC. And you know, we've continued to move up from there. You know, I don't want to list exchanges going backwards. I want to work my way up the ladder. So I've, you know, put everything in place to help accommodate that. Excuse me. You know, we partnered with CLS, which is a very well-known market making company. They do market making on exchanges for many of the big name projects. So we've partnered with them, and they can literally provide market making services for every big exchange that I have on my radar. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, this project came about by, obviously originally it started with giving my friends and my family a safe place to invest their money, because I know that I'm not going to do anything malicious. You know, and as obviously we went live and, you know, more and more people started investing, you know, that rolls over to my community. You know, I'm giving my community, my friends and my family, a safe place to invest their money. You know, so they can sleep, as I said before, in peace at night, knowing that nothing malicious is going to happen to their money. You know, obviously I can't control what my investors decide to do with their investments. You know, if they want to pull profit slowly, which is what I encourage, that's completely up to them. If they want to rip heavily, I mean, that's up to them. But I preach, you know, think about the smaller investors, think about the new investors. You know, if you've gotten in early, you know, at a 300K market cap, 100K market cap, or whatever, you're in substantial X's right now. You know, but think about the guys that are just finding the project and just investing in it, and think about what it feels like when you first buy into a project and somebody, you know, takes that buy and uses it as exit liquidity. That feeling, you know, it's not a very good feeling, you know. But to everybody that might find themselves in that situation, this project's just getting going. You know, we're still brand new. I mean, an all-time high so far was 2,000 X's at a 50 mil market cap. That's still a micro cap, in my personal opinion. We've not even started gaining traction yet.
Yeah.
Damn, man. I'm excited. I've made a couple videos and introduced my audience to it just because I'm excited. I don't do that often. I don't do that often with coins, and I've brought it to my audience because I'm excited about it and I believe it can change people's lives. Okay, Shib, so here's the last question. I appreciate you answering all these questions, but last question. Where do you see crypto in the future?
So where I see crypto in the future is eventually, you know, the governments are starting to look into it. The governments are starting to look into doing their own crypto projects. And I see at some point in the future that, you know, fiat currency will eventually be phased out and the currency of the world will be cryptocurrency, whether that's a one world currency or multiple cryptocurrencies, you know, ran by different countries. But I foresee it being, you know, the future, you know, for the economy, in my personal opinion. You know, I could be wrong, but that's just my views with everything that's going on in the world and the different governments taking interest in cryptocurrency and all the rumors and the media, you know, going around about, you know, different governments trying to come out with their own crypto. I mean, I think eventually cryptocurrency is going to be the, you know, the currency of the world. And I think eventually they're going to phase out fiat cash, and everything's going to be on-chain cryptocurrency payments.
Yeah, man, that's crazy to hear that from. You're an OG, man. You got in so early, and it's crazy to hear that from you. So, man, that's pretty much. I mean, we can talk forever about this, but I know you're at a party right now, and pretty much I want to say thanks for the interview, man.
Hey, well, thank you for the time. Thank you for reaching out, and you know, I follow along I follow along your channels. I mean, it's not a secret. We know each other. I respect everything that you do for the space. And it's because of you actually that I found some other cryptocurrency investments that I jumped into. So I really appreciate everything you do for this space. You're a solid guy.
All right, Shib, I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, take it easy, buddy.
All right, bye. Wow, great interview. So if you guys would like to hear a little bit more about Shibtoshi, leave down in the comments squidgrow, and maybe we can make that happen. Until then, guys, thank you for tuning in to another video, and I'll see you in the next.
The pain inside, don't wanna feel it. So I pour up inside my cup and I just sip till I can't feel it. I know it won't solve my problem, but I know it makes a difference.